Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Abeer's Book Reviews, and today I'll be reviewing this book, The Remainder by Alia Trabucco Zeran. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but if I'm not, then let's forget it. Anyways, this book, I just want to preface this review by saying that this book is definitely going in my top 20 books of all time list. That is how good I find this book. Anyways, I took a little bit of a gap from what I traditionally have been reading for the past few months, which is non-fiction, politics, economics, and all that, and I decided to pick up a fiction. It's a fiction novel, and the book. I don't want to spoil anything, because with fiction novels, a lot of the time, what happens is if you start talking about what's inside the book, about the contents, you start spoiling it and giving it away. So I want to refrain from doing that. I just want to give you an overview of what the book is generally about, and emphasize on the writing style of the book, which is what I find particularly interesting and the most captivating feature of the book. So the book basically chronicles the journey of a girl, her stepbrother, and her friend in air quotes, as they journey through Latin America, specifically Chile, maybe somewhere else. You'll read it in the book. They journey through mountains, through cities, in order to find something that they've lost, let's put it that way. And the book has a constant underpinning of family background and hardships that a lot of children face with their parents, and in particular about this girl who you can consider to be the protagonist, how she deals with her mother, how she has dealt with her mother, and their sort of relationship, and how does the stepbrother factor into all of this. What has his life been like, with his grandmother, with the father, the mother, all of that. And how does the quote-unquote friend factor in? How did they meet? What was her family like? How did they differ? What kind of relationship did she have with her mother? And stuff like that. In particular, I want to emphasize the writing style of the book, because I find it to be a very exemplary form of fiction. Like, if someone asks me, how do you like reading fiction, I would point immediately to this book. And that is saying a lot, because I would put this book on par with the writings of James Patterson, and he is my favorite fiction author of all time. But this book comes very close, even though it's the style of writing is different from James Patterson. This one I would put it more like the writing of Alex Michaelides who was the author of The Silent Patient and The Maidens. If this is to put it into context for some people, because this is a relatively less known author and a relatively less known book. So if someone wants to get a general idea of what the style is like, it's like Alex Michaelides, how he writes in The Silent Patient. And also how this book differs from James Patterson's writing, which I find to be, I use the example of James Patterson because I think that he is the perfect example to give when it comes to fiction writing. This book also follows two timelines, which is something very characteristic of James Patterson novels, but in his books the two timelines are more often than not quite different in terms of where they start and what kind of character progression do they go through, what characters do they follow. But this book, the two timelines, you can't really call them timelines, let's say the two perspectives of different characters, they follow the same time period. It's X then Y, then X then Y, then X then Y. It's not, they're not disconnected or they're not dissonant from each other. They are very much progressing in tandem, and they always are collinear. So it's not that they converge at the end towards one big plot twist or reveal or hook or whatever, they keep going until you reach the end. And that is where you also sort of get the perspective on another underpinning in this book, which is that of mathematics. So, every so often, let's say every 15-20 pages, you'll see 2 or 3 lines mentioning addition, subtraction, squares, multiplication, things not adding up and stuff like that. At first it seems arcane. Why am I getting this so often? You don't really get to understand it until after you've gone through about 4/5 of the book, and that is when you get the perspective on the importance of that maths. And this book, it's not completely disconnected from reality in that it talks also about a period of Chilean history, a part of history that has been very influential to some Chilean people's lives. It talks about, not really, but it hints at the political turmoil of the place during that time, and even before that, when the part comes in about her mother and her life and what has she been through, you get to understand a little bit more about Chile's political history, and that how was it connected to some other country, and major elections, how did they swing the political forever in the country, stuff like that. It's a very interesting book, and it's not too thick. I'm pretty sure it's less than 250 pages. As you can see, it's not that heavy of a read, but it's definitely a very, very, very interesting one. You'll absolutely love reading this book, just like I did. Even if you don't like fiction, I think this is the perfect place for you to start, in order to start gaining a little bit more understanding and appreciation of the genre. But yeah, that is basically it about the book. Here it is once again, The Remainder by Alia Trabucco Zeran. Absolutely phenomenal book, very exemplary writing. If someone asks me, what is fiction like, how should I start with fiction, boom, this book right here. That's all I have to say about this. Amazing author, amazing book. I'm definitely gonna pick up some more of her works and review them in the future. So that's it. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new and haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel to keep receiving more videos like this one. I've been Abeer Rao, and thanks for watching.